Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I want to talk about the Y-Ful pattern. To me, this is just an arrow smocking. In the textile world, people will use stitches to actually create this pattern on fabric, and it's the coolest thing. It makes a real 3D plush fabric. And when I saw this pattern, I was like, oh, I know that pattern. I've seen this in books when people are talking about doing smocking. So in the zen-tangle world, the way they describe doing it didn't really resonate with me. I'm going to show you how I do it, and then I'm going to show you a little bit of ways to jazz it up. So I'm starting with a grid because this is a very structured, balanced drawing where you want your spaces to be equal. Maybe. And what I'm going to do is every other one, I'm going to draw a little curve top. And then on the next line, I'm going to do the opposite of curve. So I'm just doing that all the way through, every other one. Not a big deal, pretty easy. Now I'm going to make little trees. I'm going to start from that curve and draw down. And I want to dip under the next one's umbrella, but I don't need to curve up. Sometimes I want to curve up, and there's no point in doing that. You want to go straight. So dip under the umbrella below. Dip under the umbrella below, but leave a little bit of room for the stem of the next one. Dip under the umbrella below, dip under the umbrella below. And then we're going to keep going. Dip under the umbrella below. Oop! Dip under the umbrella below. I'm rushing. My craftsmanship is not the best. Dip under the umbrella below. Can you see it forming? And I'm leaving just enough space to make the next stems. And that's all there is to it. So now we go back in and we fill in this spot here, this spot underneath the umbrellas. You should have two little areas to fill in. And I'm using a 3.5 inch page, and my squares were all about 1/2 inch large, which I feel like is a bit way larger than I would like to use it for when I am doing my drawings. But it gives you an idea of what I'm working with here. So here's the basic drawing. This would be the final piece, and then we could take a pencil and we could shade it right under here, and we could shade it here where it crosses under, and that makes it pop. I think the shading really helps it sing. Whoop, that should have been colored in. The shading makes all the difference, I think. But let's talk about ways we can make this a little bit more fun than just shading. So here's the basic drawing. These are the basic shadings where I would shade under there, and I would shade on the two edges so that it looks like it's curving. Now, one way I saw that really spiced it up was adding a little extra line right here. To me, that kind of looks like a stitching line. I'm going back to fabrics, which if you were doing smocking, I don't think there would ever be stitches, but it would look really cool. So I thought that was a clever way to add a little bit more to the pattern, make it a little bit fancier. But then I saw another one where people were actually doing some echoing lines, and that looked really organic and really cool, where people were kind of building this out as a triangle of lines folding into each other. See how that turned out really nice? So what they were doing was 2 lines going both directions, all 3 directions, and then doing a little bit of a triangle buildup in the center. And that created a really nice wood-like texture. So that's the basic idea. And one of the things I think is interesting about that is that opens up a whole nother layer of how we could color this. If you were into coloring, is that adds a whole nother layer of striping and potential. So thanks for watching. That's the basic stroke. I would love to see how you use it on your page. And if you want to see how I use it in a big format, I'm sure that will be down below.